Hello, everybody. So, hopefully, this angle is okay. I am soon to find a better area other than this crazy background to kind of start filming sit down videos. I'm really trying to like up my video recording game, if that's what you want to call it. But right now, I want to film my birth story, how this peanut came into the world. This is Tobias, aka Teddy. Enjoy his view because this will probably be the only time you will meet him or see. I shouldn't say meet him, but see him. You guys already know that I don't like to film my children on camera or post a lot of pictures. That's for a whole other video, but I just feel like for the purpose of this video, this cute little face is to be seen. I am so in love. I'm so happy. Hopefully he stays calm. If I have to pause the video, it's because I have to kind of relax him. But he was born on June 7th at 4:47 p.m. So the beginning of his birth story, or my birth story, I should say, our birth story. So on Thursday, I started to not really feel Peanut move as much. I felt him throughout the day, but all parents or moms know that eventually you start to notice your child's wake and sleep patterns. Usually, like after you eat something, it makes the baby move, especially if you've eaten something very sugary. Um, but you just started to notice like different patterns of sleep and wake times. So on Thursday nights, I started noticing a decrease in movement of Peanut. And then I noticed that, like, hi, honey. Sorry, my son had came in the room. So I'm going to try to quickly film this video. My kids are not really taking naps or resting as much anymore. So it gets a little bit hard to film sometimes, but it's okay. That is the parent life. That is my mom life. So it is what it is. So what I was saying was, you start to notice like your child's wake and sleep patterns. By Thursday night, I wasn't feeling Peanut move much. So this little one likes to wake up around 10 o'clock at night almost every time. Around 10, he's awake, moving, kicking, and he usually stays up all night moving. So like to the point where I get like a little bit uncomfortable and I cannot really sleep much when he's moving that much. And then by maybe 1, 2 in the morning, he is calm. So I noticed that the last time I had felt him move was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. But I was so tired. I was in so much pain. I kind of thought that maybe I was so tired that I zonked out regardless of him moving. But you kind of know in your gut, like, okay, something's not right. So, flash forward to Friday morning. My husband usually, because things were getting pretty progressive for me and I was in a lot of pain towards the end, I was so uncomfortable, I couldn't move. By the start of my third trimester, my husband would get up in the morning, get my kids together. He would get them settled in their room with a snack, something to eat. They usually like to sit on their couch and eat their food and watch their show. And by the time he leaves, I'm kind of up getting myself ready. And by like 8, 9 o'clock, like I kind of go in there and we start our day. But it just helped that he got them ready in the morning. So it gave me some time to wake myself up and just kind of rest a little bit more. And I would just watch them through the camera and, go from there. But while he's making the kids something to eat, he always brings me food. So that way, I was always hungry in the morning and I was always nauseous. And the way to feel better was to eat something. So he always made me something while he made the kids something. And once I ate, the baby would start moving. But I noticed particularly this morning, he did not move after I ate, especially when he would make me like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something that had a little bit of sweetness to it. The baby would always move. But I noticed that, okay, it's 8 o'clock and I still haven't felt him move. So I started getting concerned. I'm like, I'm really not feeling much movement, and that's not normal. Like, your child is supposed to move a lot, especially in the last trimester, and big moves, not like the little kicks in the beginning, like big movements. You could see an elbow, a foot, a hand. I wasn't feeling any of that. So I started to get concerned. I tried calling my mom, but she was sleeping still. So I called my mother-in-law because I knew she would be up, because she wakes up around the same time that my husband does. And so I called her and I was like, "Listen, I'm kind of worried. The baby's not moving. Normally when I, told her the whole thing that I am telling you guys. I ate, I did this. I had gotten up and I used the bathroom, and usually once I kind of get up and move a little bit too and then lay back down, he wakes up. That wasn't the case. I was nervous. So then she told me, "Did you eat something like candy?" So I'm like, "Oh yeah, my mom had given me some Twizzlers from her when they had movie night." So I ate about 5 of those and still nothing. Like, and once you eat something extremely sweet, it normally makes the baby move. So I got very concerned. I have a Doppler and I used it to check his heartbeat, and his heart was beating strong and was nice, but I just hadn't felt his movements at all. So basically, I hadn't felt the baby move since 10 o'clock the night before. So she told me to call the labor and delivery place just to be on the safe side, just to kind of like, ease my mind. So I called them. I told them exactly what was going on, and they were like, "You know what? Let's just come in. You're supposed to get an NST done tomorrow, so we could just do it today, just to make sure that your baby is fine. We'll just hook you up to the machine, check the movements and all that, and we'll go from there." So my mother-in-law came over. She watched the boys, and then by that time, I had texted my entire family, letting them know what was going on, just in case something was going to happen. I honestly did not think anything was wrong. I just thought that maybe the baby's just very tired and lazy right now and just doesn't want to be bothered. So I did not anticipate everything that perspired. I thought that we're just going to hook me up. Baby's fine. I was going to go home and be on some bed rest. But that wasn't the case. So we get there. They put me into the monitoring room that people usually go into to do the NSTs. Every now and then, if it was booked up or busy, I would get a private room, but this particular day I didn't. I was with another woman in the room. I texted my husband what was going on, so he wound up coming a little bit closer to town just to make sure everything was okay, but he eventually wound up just being in the parking lot. He finished up what he needed and wound up being in the parking lot. He couldn't come in. I wish he could have, but where I was, you're with other women, even though that the curtains are closed, you're talking about very intimate things, so he couldn't come in, and that was okay. Privacy was what comes first. And so they hooked me up to the monitor, um, and we got the baby's heartbeat, but the problem that we were having was we weren't getting the X-cells that we needed. So X-cells is like when the baby moves, the heart rate goes up a little bit, and they need a lot of X-cells every certain amount of time, and that wasn't happening. And then at times we were losing the baby's heartbeat. So we were there trying to get this X-cell, trying to get a whole like full-on scan, but it wasn't happening. So they called down to the ultrasound tech room, and they had to get some kind of test. It's an ultrasound, but I forgot like the name of the test that they were talking about, but it's to check the baby's entire movements, check the fluids, check the amniotic fluid, check how much the baby's breathing in there. So they wheel me down to the ultrasound room, and I lay on the table and I meet the ultrasound lady that was going to do my ultrasound. And it started off good. We were chit-chatting, we were talking. She was asking what my baby was. I said, "I don't know, so please don't tell me because I want it to be a surprise." And after a while, she got quiet. And everybody knows, like, you kind of sense that feeling, like, okay, what's going on? So she got quiet. She got more focused. And eventually, she winds up going to get another person, but 3 people come in the room this time. And so they're like, "Oh, we're just going to try to get this baby moving." So there was one person sitting off to the side watching the screen as well with the person that was doing the Doppler then there was another person standing over me getting movement. So you can see everybody just kind of focus, and like the whole mood shifted. And at that point I started to panic because, all right, I've done this before. I didn't need these many people in the room to help me get scans done. So they wind up, then the lady whispers, oh, you want to go get so and so. And at that point I am severely panicking. So I wind up just hopping in my group chat, talking to my family, like, listen, y'all, I need you guys to give me some words of encouragement. I am nervous. They're getting all these people in the room to look, check the baby. And I'm starting to think something's going on. I just need someone to talk to me. Because when I have anxiety, the way you talk me out of my anxiety attacks is to talk to me. I don't care if we talk about the weather. I don't care if we talk about what color your poop was this morning, as long as it's distracting me from what's going on. So my mom's texting me. My dad hops in the chat telling me everything is fine. They went to go get that person they were talking about, but she was busy with another issue. And then I guess they have a 30-minute window to get everything that they need. But at the time, I didn't know why they needed a 30-minute window. So they said, all right, we got what we needed to get at this moment, where we can't get everything, but we got what we could. They will discuss your results back up in labor and delivery. And I'm like, oh, okay. They don't normally tell you your results anyway. I think that's the job for the doctors. But at that point, I felt like something was wrong. I didn't know what, but I felt like something was wrong. So while I was waiting for my the person to come back to transfer me back to the labor and delivery, my god sister, she worked at the hospital, and she came in to comfort me just for a little bit. But then they came and they got me. They wheeled me back up to the room. Once they wheeled me back up to the room, one of the nurses says, we're going to hook you back up to the monitor to see if we can get more of what we need. But in the meantime, we're waiting for the doctor's office. I mean, not doctor's office. They're waiting for the doctor to come in, and she's the doctor that's in the labor and delivery room at that moment. So she comes in, the doctor, and she was like, oh, what are we doing? We're hooking you back up. We're just waiting for your results. Did they tell you what was going on? I said, no, they actually didn't say anything to me. They told me they were going to wait for you to tell me the news, if everything was fine. Well, she's like, oh, well, we got some XLs, but we'll check the thing, and I'm pretty sure everything's good, and we'll get you out of here and back home. I was like, okay, cool. So the lady hooks me back up to the monitors, and she still couldn't get what we needed to get. We just kept losing the baby. So at one point, I started feeling really anxious. Like, I kind of felt like something is going on. No, don't touch nothing, honey. So then the doctor comes back in. I'm still hooked up to the monitor, and this is the second time she's come back in. And she comes in and she has like this look on her face, and I'm just like, so I immediately ask, oh, is everything good? And she's like, yeah, no. She said the baby's amniotic fluid is low, really low, and we didn't get what we can get. And she said something along the lines, well, the scanned results are supposed to be at a 9 or 10. Your baby's at a 4, which means we are going to just push your C-section up. Hold on one second, honey. You're moving the camera. She said, we are going to move your C-section date up. So I'm thinking like, oh, I have to give birth in 2 weeks. Maybe, it'll be a week earlier. She's like, no, your son has to, oh, she didn't say your son. I'm so used to saying boys. She's like, nope, your baby has to come out now. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, the baby has to be, we have to have a C-section like right now. So I'm like, oh my God. I started panicking. At the end of the day, like, the baby is off term, but we're at like 37 weeks. And so I just kind of wanted another week to kind of get things together. So like, I wasn't mentally all there. Like, I wasn't mentally ready. Like, I knew like if he was born, he'd be okay. But then I'm just like, okay, but what if he's not? Like, what if, like, I say obviously I didn't know at the time what he was. But I'm just like, what if the baby's not okay? Like, what if I need stop KK? What if, his lungs are not finished developing? Like, I'm thinking all of these thoughts about the baby. But so I messaged my family. My husband, it was in the waiting room already. So they were like, we'll get you into a room and then we'll have your husband come in. Everything moved so fast. Like I just sent a message, oh, I have to have the baby like now. Have an emergency C-section. So the people come in. Now it was funny because the woman next to me, she was almost going to have her baby because she was in early labor. She was a week ahead of me, so like we're just thinking, we're in there thinking like we're gonna stop labor, we're gonna stop things, and we're gonna go home. Nope, it was looking like we're all gonna have a baby today. Shh. So yep, they hooked me up to everything. They put the IV and stuff in. I don't have my hospital bag. I don't have my pills. I don't have anything. So, but thank God my mom at the time, she's not working, so she was able to be here. Sorry, I had to pause. My son is, he doesn't want me on the phone. So whenever I get on the phone, he starts acting up. So, yeah, so they hooked me up to the IVs. My mom, she wasn't working, so she was able to come to my house with my mother-in-law to watch the kids, gather all the things that I needed to gather. I think someone did a stinky. How can something so little and so cute smell so bad? So my mom, she came in because she was gonna come to the hospital, but when you have a C-section, I guess you have to wait. Um, it's okay. Obviously, it can only be your husband in the operating room. But like last year or a few years ago, she could wait in the room while I came back. But I guess it was different this time. But the entire hospital was filled with people. Like they were saying everybody was having their babies early. Like everybody, people that were supposed to give birth around the time I was supposed to give birth, they're all having their babies early. So it was packed in there. And she said it was like a big boy boom because there was like a bunch of boys there. But I was just mainly getting nervous about like the numbness. I hated getting it being numb waist down with the kids. I felt like I couldn't properly breathe. But like I just knew what to expect, so it did help. Hold on one second. Um so yeah, so they hooked me up. My husband gets his scrubs and stuff on. They finally bring him in the room once they got like my IV and everything in. They brought his scrubs in. He got himself ready. And then they wheeled me in a few minutes later and Peanut was born. The recovery was better. I'm doing better this time around recovery wise. Right now, the biggest issue during recovery that I'm having right now, because right tomorrow, so Friday, it'll be 3 weeks since I've had my baby. Mentally, I'm doing a lot better because I'm doing more herbalistic remedies to keep my emotions in check, to keep my body balanced while I'm trying to come down from having a baby. Because obviously, once the baby's born, your hormones crash like crazy. So, I'm doing a better mentally wise. I'm getting out a lot more than I did with my twins. I was home for almost an entire month and a half. I didn't leave my house. I left my house once, and that was because I had to get KK's bilirubin test done because he was jaundiced. So I wanted to be there, and I wanted to be there for the second time for their appointments. My mother-in-law went with my husband because I was having issues walking and numbness because of my spinal. This time around, my spinal was better. The anesthesiologist did so much better this time around. She only had to do it one time, and she got me good. But I'm having pain where my spinal was done. The numbness did happen for 3 days, but nothing crazy. Like I knew what to do this time around for the numbness, but that only lasted for like 2 to 3 days. And it was just a lot better. Right now, I'm just having a lot of pain in my back. And I'm having some pain in my pelvis, and it wraps around to my back. And standing and walking still hurts a lot. Like if I'm doing too much, my back feels like it's burning, then it feels like it's pinching. So right now, I'm going to be putting my belly binder back on, to kind of help with the posture a little bit. And by my 6 week appointment, if things don't get better or if it continues to get worse within from now till my appointment, I will just be calling the doctor. But rather than that, I feel like I'm okay. Like I feel like my recovery is doing better. I do have my postpartum moments where I just start crying, where I don't even know why, and I don't even try to figure out why, because it's just you just had a whole baby. You're your body's changing. It's trying to get back to normal, which I don't think it ever will. It'll maybe get like 90% better. um, but yeah, things are just different. Um, I had a whole video recorded about what I had in my postpartum recovery kit, but like a lot of it was for a natural birth because I was supposed to have one and I wanted to have one, but I couldn't. Um, I was told the maybe around May that I couldn't have a vaginal birth. So the reason why, because so I had a scheduled C-section for the 21st. That's when they were going to have my C-section. Um, it took me, I didn't make the video because I also wanted to take the time to process and mourn the vision that I had for my birth plan. Because obviously things don't always go as planned, exactly this case and scenario. But they told me that I could not have a natural birth because my pelvis is really small and because I had a cesarean section and due to weight issues, which I kind of don't fully like get that. There's plenty of people who are hefty and got some meat on their bones that have had a natural birth, but I had the decision to go ahead and do a vaginal birth. And I would have to sign a form saying that they told me all of my risks and it's my decision. But as much as I would have loved to sign that, I had to take some time to think about it. And at the end of the day, I opted to have the C-section because I have a family that I need to come home to. I have boys that I need to come home to. I have a husband. My kids are only 3 years old in August. And I have to be smart about this. So at the end of the day, regardless of how I feel, I need to do what was best for me. And I just kind of took that day or two to cry, to mourn the idea of what I wanted, to make sure that my baby got here safe, to make sure I was safe, and to make sure I just got home. So, yeah, they just told me that I had a high risk of uterine rupture. And that would be devastating. I would lose my baby, and the recovery of that is either they can fix me up, but I may not be able to have any more children after that, or I would have to have an entire hysterectomy, or filming the rest of this video on my Snapchat because my phone is full. But basically that is the whole story of like my birth, why I had a C-section, why I had to have an emergency C-section, and also why I couldn't have a natural birth. But at the end of the day, my peanut is here. He is thriving. He's doing amazing. We got our matching outfits on. I love him so much. But that is my crazy birth story. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.